This is just AMZN on Thursday, March 12th, 2020. Taking a look at the daily, and I will try and get to the mute button if I'm going to sneeze or cough. Sorry, I'm fighting a little bit of a cold. But today we opened up a bit lower than I expected, and so all of these levels through here were acting more so as resistance rather than being potential support and a fade back up, looking something like this candle. We basically had kind of the opposite of this candle. We still had an upper wick, but we were much more bearish. So the open would have been here and the close would have been here. That's kind of what we did today. We opened up here, closed down here. This close was not quite a shaved bottom, pretty close. The low was 1675, and that actually took out this low in volume, this hammer in volume. This one is the next one that's got its sights on. The low of this candle was 1672, and just like this earnings day, for after hours, we're already way down in the 1620s. So I'm going to go over to the 5-minute now to show you that. So 1627 is the current low for after hours. I wouldn't be surprised if it went further down pre-market, but it's looking like we could open even below this channel, uptrend channel, which means we had a little bit of this day and all of today within this channel. And if we get way down here, I mean, it's got to bottom out at some point. So it seems like, okay, maybe here it'll actually go bullish. It went bullish for a little bit today, but I would be really careful about shorting down here. It is taking out a lot of lows. It's taking out a lot of people's stops from anybody who's bought down here. So those people will start to be trapped. But I wouldn't be surprised if we had, just kind of a push higher and give you an opportunity to go bearish from a little bit higher price. Obviously way up here would have been the best time to be buying puts. Down here could be the best time to be buying some calls. Just a matter of which ones you're going to get into and how far out of the money, how far away in terms of expiration. I'm always talking about out of the money strikes. If we switch back over to the 5-minute here, I'm just going to zoom in on today because, well, actually here, this is that downtrend channel I drew, and it didn't really do much. We pushed through that a couple times, and more so today actually, I'll just get rid of this. More so today, we were trading through these levels. And so I went through these prices, 1714.50, 1727.80, and 1747. And this one we held really, really, really nicely. This was a great place to get in bearish and let it roll back down. Put in a bit of a double bottom here. Some Fed news came out, spiked back up, trapping anybody who went short here and got stopped out, just to immediately roll over and take out the low. We retested. We had a little bit of a rally into the close. Really nice hammer here and a rollover. A really nice bearish candle. A lot of volume after hours, which I think is pretty normal. But again, with us being down into the 1620s already after hours, or at least that being the low, it's gapped significantly lower. And so a lot of bears were getting into this, and they're going to be taking some profits. Some will, not all of them will. Some will keep thinking it's going to continue lower. But that's what I'm saying. Look for down here to be some support zone. The last time we were down here was this whole thing that I've been comparing us to. We had a consolidation, a breakout to a new high, or almost a new high in this case, roll back down, contend with some of these lows, and then higher. Now, I'm not saying we're going to V-bottom and go higher, an all-time high, and continue on up from here. Although this would be a great place to chase out all of the bulls and have very few bulls to be on that run all the way back up from this level. So do consider about legging in, obviously small position, start building, if this becomes a low, or this might become one of many lows because you had a low here, a low here, and a low here. And all these were great places to be getting in because they gapped down and faded higher. It's just a matter of, maybe it wasn't good to hold on to those long term. Unfortunately, it would have been nice, day or two swing, and it would have worked. Down here, knowing that we're gapping down even further, such a strong bearish candle, I'm expecting some retracement. It's a bearish retest gap. We gapped down from another bearish retest, or had another bearish retest gap today, and we did go higher. So I had talked about the 1900 calls, looking for that to open, looking for us to open up here. Thought they'd be at around $1. It opened up and it was right around 20 cents or $20 on the when you actually pay, the cash you're actually paying, went up to multiple dollars and then came back down. It was flat at about $1. And then when that Fed announcement came in and things spiked up, it pretty much doubled from 1 to 2. I did not play that for the double. I got in around $1, somewhere in here, and saw this is not working. This is, this opened way lower than I expected, and I just got out. Got out for a tiny gain. But it just wasn't the right strike because we opened lower. And we looked at, let's see, maybe 1850 call. Let's see what that was doing in the morning. Maybe that one would have been better. That was pretty flat too. So that was around $2, came down to 1, and then roared higher. So yeah, definitely not the $1 price I was looking for to have an absolute zero. So maybe in the middle. 1875. This had like no volume. There's like no volume. So maybe you could have bought at $1 over in here, and then it went up to 3. But I mean, who would have been selling it to? I don't know. I don't like this one. With us gapping down and looking to potentially fade, I would try. What happened here? Oh, that's right. It's just really expensive. Really expensive. With another gap down, I would somewhat anticipate the same thing. We're going to take out a lot of premium, 1,700 expiring same day. This is not going to go to zero in the first thing in the morning. It's still going to be worth probably 10 or 11 when it opens, just because there'll be extra premium. Look for that to dry up as it pulls, goes down a little bit further. See if we can get into a rally and ride that from potentially an absolute zero, for $1 up to 5 or 6 or even 10 or something. You may need to be a little further away. 1725 probably does not have much volume. Oh, it's all right. It's got okay volume. I'm just thinking 1725 because we have a level at 1727.80, which would be nice to be moving towards. But this could open up maybe around 4 or 5. I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing of what we could be looking for in terms of a fade sort of trade. Looking a little further, or looking lower on the bearish side, 1,600 puts at that rollover price where it came right into 1747 and rolled. It put in a low about 3 and gave you a little bit of time to get in between 4 and 3 or 350 by 250, and then just roared. And so it actually did it again, came back down to the same price on that Fed announcement, and then then started to roll down or roll over again. And so getting in at 3 worked right out the gate pretty much, and again here and again here. So this would have been a nice round number for a strike. This one is going to be worth a lot as things open up in the morning, because we're almost there already. We only have to go a little bit further to get to 1,600, and that'll be in the money. So that's what I'm saying. Getting into puts right at open, a lot of people will be getting out of them and selling them for as much as they can get. And over the next probably hour or so, it'll probably stay a little bit further down. But then as some folks get out of their put positions and consider that this is a huge area of support down here, there may be some more buying that comes in and we actually fade. So that's why I'm looking at specifically some calls that are a little further away. But know your risk. Set it up with your full R to lose if it's an absolute zero, or at least set it up and be patient for it to fill. Look for a fill lower than you actually think it should get down to. Sometimes those are the ones, they're kind of like peak orders where you think, if the market, the market will never get down there. But if it does, I'll just have something open. That kind of thing could happen. Also look for, so just like today, if we do something like this, where we get a, $20, $30 move or 20, 30 point move in the last hour of the day, you could play it bullish and bearish, and the strikes, $25, $30 away, Could be really good strikes. Like down here, if this was starting to roll over, we've taken out the low, everything looks bearish. You could be paying a really small price for like 1,700. Again, if this was a Friday, 1,700 calls, you might be able to get into a couple of these for $1 total, and maybe there you get 5 of them for like 20 cents, because way down here, all the premium is getting sucked out. It's getting the last hour of the day, and then it rips higher, goes in the money by 10, $12. What was the high here? $15. This, at this point, because it's that high up, is probably going to be worth around 15 because it's in the money by 15, but there'll be extra premium, and the fill price is going to be tough. You're just going to set a target and run away from it, take your profit and run kind of thing. But if you get into 5 of those and you get $10 in the money, so you paid 20 cents and it goes up to, $10. That's the kind of thing that can happen on this kind of a move. And it didn't move huge. It's just the volatility of this. That's the kind of thing that can happen. And it happened last Friday. I caught a part of it. I think I talked about getting, 4R on that one. So that's the kind of thing that can happen. In some cases, it can save your week. In some cases, it can, make your month. That kind of thing. And you can also do it in both directions, because you can have this kind of reversal in a matter of a single candle on a 5-minute. That's possible too. So just be ready for the volatility. I like doing absolute zero on a Friday. I've gotten better at it, and it's really tough to be patient for that last hour because it only happens once a week on Amazon, and it can have some monstrous moves. So, if you're seeing something moving earlier in the day and, it's setting up just right, play that and see if you can still, script either an R for later in the day. But I'll definitely be looking for what I can do at this point of the day. And I'll still be looking for some consolidation and playing off of some pivots. I know I'm pointing to things like as if this was a Friday, but, look at the levels. There's 3 pivots pretty close together down in here. Down in here. Those are the 1617.54, 1607, and 1591.04. It's been a long time since I've even uttered those numbers, those prices. So again, those are, you can go back and look at them. 1617.54, 1607, 1591.04. I'll look for those to hold and see if we can get any sort of fade. But I may be quick to take some profits if we start to fade, because, this thing's been reversing on a dime. Like literally, it reversed in a matter of minutes here. Spiked up, spiked down, chopped around, and looked like, okay, it could go continue bullish. Nope. Rolled back down with a big bearish candle. Hell, like this was phenomenal. We did not get a single 5-minute candle in here above this pivot. Did not get a single 5-minute candle in here above this pivot. Okay, I take that back. This one was a tiny bit above. What was this close? 1714.86. Our price is 1714.50. Okay, technically, yes, 36 cents above. And this one was below. Okay, this one was 36 cents above, but otherwise there wasn't a single candle that got a close above this pivot or above this pivot, and there was only this candle that got a close above this pivot today. Once it went up, came back down, it stayed below. Once it came down, it stayed below, except for the high wave candle, and then continued lower. I'm just saying that these levels worked that well. There's something about them. We've got the prices that have worked from the past. They're playing out again. Look to trade off of them. That's what I do. All right. Hope this helps. This is Just AMZN. Thanks.